Just to be clear, ID&T was sold for the last 25% yesterday to SFX. So now you're fully American, and you're on Wall Street now.
Nasdaq.
Yeah. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's strange to see Afrojack pressing the button.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I don't know. It's surreal sometimes. I think this whole week is a bit surreal. Yeah, to see yourself with a nice blouse in the book, and then the other week, yeah, you're closing a deal, and then yeah, it's really strange.
Yeah.
Once I went at a school party when I was 16, when the acid music came. I think the Roxy had that music. I thought, what the fuck is this? I think that was the acid just before the house explosion. And then the house explosion started for me 1 year later indeed, when I was 17.
So it was the summer of love, you really fully experienced it?
Yeah, I used to listen to Public Enemy and LB Shore and just pop music and Depeche Mode, The Cure sometimes, but it's a bit too black at that point. So yeah, and then the first beats came.
What attracted you in house music? What hit you?
The vibe of the scene. I used to go also to. At that point, we always had 8 guys going to Holland, going out. Had some fights sometimes on a Saturday, and I don't know. It was really how do you say, pull the guy? Yeah, really and then house music came, and then I never experienced any fight at all in my whole life again. Never. And that feeling of being together and laughing and always fun.
Yeah.
Funny thing, at that point I wasn't at all with girls. I had a girlfriend, but for me at that point the house music was with 8 guys, 10 guys, sometimes 20, driving behind where the next illegal party was, get a flyer, and that drove there. I think that whole, and the feeling of something new. And that was, I think, the whole beginning, of course, of this whole explosion. The new people at that point were still dancing. The girls were putting their handbags on the floor, and we were dancing around the handbags. And then the house music came, of course, and then everybody was dancing.
It was all mixed up.
Yeah, and then a guy could just dance by himself, and that wasn't strange.
Yeah.
I mean, a year before, if you dance by yourself, what is he doing?
Yeah.
So I think that was the whole change, I think. And for me to be exploring that new road and the first new steps and exploring yourself.
Did you already have the feeling like there was something special going on here in Holland? That this scene was something particular?
Yeah, we had a very strong illegal rave scene. Very strong. Amsterdam, and I went to, that's also in the book, that's so strange if you read the book. I went to one of my greatest experiences in that new period was Paris. Paris was just here. That was his event in Ahoy, the big one, the big club party. And then in Amsterdam had a strong scene with all these illegal raves and the Borneo Kade and.
Was this different than other countries?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, England had a strong one, and Manchester, and we heard a lot about, at that point, there was no internet, so the stories came by stories, really telling a story, or experience, or DJs telling stories, because there was no internet. So we heard there were some English parties, Germany had some parties, and we had some parties. So those were the 3 countries doing parties.
And then it all came together, you could say. There was, because in Holland everything, all the sounds and all the scenes have kind of melted together. That's what the strength of the Dutch scene is. It's always been said.
Yeah, in the beginning there was of course, just one scene, house.
Yeah.
And I think that was, and then the IT came already in '88. Then the Roxy, and that was the first when it started to split up. I was 18 at that point. I understand now why I couldn't get in, but at that point I was really angry and fuck you, Roxy.
But then after that, yeah.
And then the scene split it, and then more and more we call that mellow, and then the raves got a bit harder, And then the Elementenstraat came, and then the music became louder and louder, more power in the music. And that was a bit of the beginning of the two big. You had the club, the Amsterdam club scene, which was focused on themselves. The IT was everybody was welcome more. And then the bigger events started to come. The raves, the big raves, Statenhal, Ahoy.
Now
and then we started in '92.
Exactly. But you were more inspired by these bigger events?
Yeah, because there was everybody was. I always loved everybody's welcome. I founded Studio 80 7 years ago, a small club at the Rembrandtplein. And the only thing I said, okay, I understand we have to have some door policy because it's on the Rembrandtplein. But door policy should be, do you know who's playing? Not because I'm a hipster or my hair is nice or... No, everybody's welcome. But okay, you have to know who's playing. Not just 10 guys from England having a stag night at the Rembrandtplein. But the openness, everybody welcome. That's a strong, which has always been in the core values of ID&T. Yeah. Everybody is welcome. That's so funny with all these big events. For 21 years, everybody can buy a ticket. So we don't have issues with Marokkanen not welcome. And there is no discrimination at our events. Never. Because everybody can buy a ticket. And everybody is welcome.
Yeah.
And I like that feeling at the big events, the big raves. And then, yeah, of course, the hardcore period started to come. The first Thunderdome we did half a year later. At that point, there was no gabber. There was no gabber scene at all. It was just hardcore. And I think and then a scene started, and always scenes have particular elements, like the shovel dance where there was a period, or jump style thing, or hardstyle. But Thunderdome at that point, and then the first guy started to wear tracksuits, and then the hair went off, and then within I think 3/4 of a year, because the first Thunderdome was in October, the second one was in March in Den Haag, and then already you saw some changes, and then a year later, only tracksuits, only bald heads, and all the shaved hair from the girls.
Were you surprised by this, or you just
no? Because it's like a scene, so you accept it. Like the punk scene had hanekammen and black, and so the gabber scene was. I think some mom and dads weren't very happy. I think if my daughter came home now with shaved heads and the tracksuit,
they're still here.
Yeah,
still very much alive.
So I think more parents were concerned. But we for us it was normal, and I was a bit older, so I never had a bald head.
No,
that once. That was a joke for my wife, but I never had never by myself in the scene. So I was more, yeah. But the scene itself, yeah, that stayed there for I think 3-4 years.
Then
in '97
and happy hardcore, and then it was over.
Yeah, because Gabber Pete just really made it, yeah, I always blame him, because and he always doesn't like to say that, but I'm saying that, but I said, Guy, you were the first guy he was really our presenter of the TV program. We had a very big TV program on TMF, and we were the #1 television series for 2 years. So 200,000 people were watching, and all the other programs maybe 50,000 or 40. We had 200,000 every, I don't know, yeah, weekly. And then Gabber Piet just decided to make a song like that, boing boing, and then the Gabber just turned into a joke. You know, and then when you first thought you were a tough guy, 16, 17, I'm a Gabber, 18, and then walking on the street now and then. Hey, Gabbertje!
And then you were just at the point as one of the first organizations, you were really marketing your events, doing a lot of albums, mixed albums.
Well, that was our luck. I don't know where. I think I read when I was an ambitious guy. I wanted to have a business. Or I was a courier at that point, and I read a book about business and.
You wanted to expand.
Yeah, I don't know why, and then I had a name, and I registered the name Thunderdome, and Arcade just stole our name after the first Thunderdome we did. and those was a big company at that point. And they just stole our name and they put out the CD on the market. But it sold 50,000 the first, and they didn't give us any. So we went to the lawyer and said, hey, look, that's our name. And we were 21 at that point. And then, I don't know how, in the end we made a deal. The big guy of the company, I don't know, he said, let's make a deal. And finally we made a deal for a guilder CD at that point. And then the second edition sold, and they had a European office. They sold 230,000 CDs. So sometimes you have to have luck in your life. That was luck. So we had 230,000 guilders came in, and that was the foundation of the company. And then we started to realize, of course, wow, this is a brand. It's a concept with CD, and so from that point we always thought in Thunderdome and in a concept and protecting what are we not, what are we. But we also made a lot of mistakes in that way. With Thunderdome we also made, at the end, agendas for school kids. I mean, how stupid
well,
can it be?
I've talked to Irfan, your
the iPhone identity, yeah.
Exactly. And he said he wasn't really that pleased with that whole development then, because for him it was about organizing parties. And you were kind of diverse, getting away from that too much, maybe. It was more about the marketing, everything around it, and the events itself.
We did it in the merch.
Less important. Or not?
No, the event, of course, when you have so much attention on making, we had 20 people in the warehouse making all these t-shirts and packing them, and at that point we had a CD, we sold 250,000 every 3 months, so we sold 1 million Thunderdome CDs in a year. So we put it in the booklet by hand, we put up the t-shirts, and every day we had 15,000 guilders of orders of t-shirts, every day. And then my brother came in, he was 16, and his first job, he quit school, he did his MAFO and that was it. And he was 16 and he was behind the computer by hand. We had to do all these orders, and so you don't think about it then. It just overwhelming. It just happens. And 15,000 kids were in the streets, and we were shipping, I think, containers full of Thunderdome merchandise. So we were at that point at the top of the world.
Yeah.
We thought, wow.
But it stopped somewhere, because maybe it also has something to do with you personally. You started to listen to other music. And then you started to focus on other events. You started in the city, then Sensation came, Historyland started expanding. It was another way of running the company again.
Yeah, or a big, if sometimes people ask me what was a sad moment in my career, that was because of the Gabber Piet, there we go again. The trend and everything just collapsed. It really collapsed. The whole merchandise, everything. Because a trend comes and then it goes like that. It doesn't, so what you build for 4 or 5 years is gone within 3 months. Because people go, oh, what the fuck, let's grow my hair again, and so it just boom. And now I had 22 young people in the warehouse working. So I had to come in, I said, hey, I'm sorry, the trend is over. You don't have a job anymore. So all the people crying, and that was a big sad moment also for me to experience my first firing people, and then we had 20 people in the office, 25, and then from out of the blue we had to fire the half. But at the other end, we did like house music always, so we never had a moment of doubt. We just said, let's organize what we like, and that was, we started Trans Energy, we started Inner City. And then the big Inner City came with Chesto, and that's the whole story started there.
The story of ID&T started again, you could say.
That was ID&T 2.0.
Yeah.
That was making also the change from Mysteryland. We took a big risk because Mysteryland was 70% hardcore and 30% all styles music, but 70% of the people came were hardcore minded. And then we made a decision, we have to change, the hardcore is going down. Let's take Mysteryland from a night festival to a day festival. We moved to Amsterdam, but from 40,000 tickets, we dropped to 15,000 tickets. We lost nearly €1 million, nearly bankrupt, but we were lucky still, we had some funds left from the music business. But that was also a big, big step. And then I don't know, but we did it. And then we changed to Mr. And then the second year we found Mr. a beautiful site where we're now. And then we went from 13,000 tickets, boom, up to 40, sold out again. So those are big changes and steps in ID&T.
But one of the most incredible things you've done is taking all these things abroad, around the world. That
was a bit later, because this period was 97, 98.
Yeah, okay. But you already were thinking about...
Well, we did Thunderdome in Oberhausen. We did Thunderdome in Australia. We did one small edition in America, which was...
So there was already a vision about taking this worldwide.
Yeah, because we already felt sometimes in Holland, with all the... Yeah, it's a hard country. It's a lot of critics here. It's sometimes tough, and we had that feeling, let's go, because it's also because of our CDs sold in so many countries. So we had already a lot of attention from people from France to Israel, everywhere, fans of Thunderdome.
Yeah.
And that's where we tried to take out, and then we tried to take out Inner City. That didn't succeed. We failed in Germany. We did a good edition in Belgium, especially for me because I met my wife there, so that event is always important.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the first step, and then Sensation came in 2000.
And then you took all the experience you already had with Sensation, you took it even further.
But that's later again, that's 2005. So we did first the Sensations 5 years.
You had to grow here in Amsterdam?
Yeah, the first one was just a normal Sensation.
Yeah.
But also that was again a scary thing to do. To go to a football stadium, I mean it was my stadium, my club, my Ajax. So sitting there going, whoa, that would be awesome if we could do an event here. And they said 2 years no, and then after a while they called us back, let's talk to do an event. And then we came up with this, but 70% of the guys internal didn't want to do it because everybody said football stadium, it's ugly, you can't do an event here.
Mm.
I don't know why. Sander Groet was my partner at that point. He's the founder of Air. And Sander called me and said, you have to come to the office now because they want to cancel the arena. I don't know, no way. So I came to the office and said, guys, we have to do it. So Sander and I pushed it through, and we started brainstorming, and then the name came. And the first lineup was really funny. We did Sean, Judge Jules, Carl Cox, Sven Vet, Chesto. It was funny to have a Sean and Carl Cox as Sven Vet.
It was still possible back then.
It was not, and it's only sometimes you think it looks like ages ago, but it's only 13 years ago, so it's not even that long ago.
Well, light years in dance music.
Yeah, in dance music it is, but in a normal life, I think it doesn't feel like. But in dance music, yeah, of course, every year sometimes you get a change. And that was 2000, the first one, and then of course my brother died in that year with the whole white, and then Sensation, because the first Sensation we had only 16,000 people. We said, of course, it was 30 and it was a success, but we are quite good in storytelling. So we lost 800,000 euros. Lost a lot of money, but it was really great. The first Sensation. I always love events which are on for the first time. The first ones. If you like going to events, just always go to the first ones because those are the most special ones, because all the crowd which is there, they're new. So that energy of a new event, it's always the best, because it's that freshness of the organizer, the people, the audience. But sometimes you also go to some new things which don't work, so you have to accept sometimes.
There's tension. I think that makes it special.
It worked out, and the whole arena was just, it was really like a big club, and that's how it felt. And we still call it the biggest club on earth. Always when Sensation is, we call it the biggest club on earth, and it worked. And then the second year, we did it small. We changed the bit to white. It wasn't white at all. Mm-hmm. Only we did a part of the night dressed in white because we did my funeral of my brother in white, and then I think 10% came in white or so, something like that. But sold out. And then the third year, everybody came in white. And then that was also at the times when trance was getting bigger and bigger. Armin was playing, and then was the big wave of the whole trance in Holland.
But everybody saw this as a trance event, and then like a week later you did the hard style with Sensation Black. But that also changed when house came up. You were not afraid to, just like hardcore, you're not afraid to change your concept or your thinking of music, and just switching the event to a more house or broader style.
No, it is sometimes, I'm always the new guy, but sometimes too new. In the city, yeah, I fucked up. In the city we felt we had to also change the trance a bit more to new styles, and we were too progressive. And then we went from 40,000 tickets to 12,000 tickets, and we tried it again, and it didn't work. So we had, so we ruined in the city with that. And also trance energy we ruined. We wanted to change trance energy into energy and energy into a new event, but people didn't perceive it that way. The trance fans were really angry at us because they felt we took away their event. And now State of Trance, which is in Holland, is sold out with 40,000 people. The Master of Hardcore guys are behind that, and we do it together with them. They live the hardcore music. In our office, nobody listens to hardcore music. That was also our problem with trance. Nobody listens to trance anymore in the office. Or hire people who really love that and they're passionate about it, then you can do it. And so we accept sometimes, with Thunderdome, we felt the last 5 years, we had 10,000 people, 8,000 people. It was nice and we made some money, but we weren't proud anymore about it. And I said to Irfan is still co-owner of the brand, I said, Irfan, we have to quit this, man. It's done. We had 3 generations of people coming in. We had 1,200 people on the, because you have a free entry if you have this one, the tattoo, if you have them, then you can always get in for free. So more than 1,200 people came, 1,200 tattoos. We made a book, not as beautiful as you, guys, but it's going to come out next month. And we made a book of the most 100 special tattoos with the stories. It was amazing what kind of, there are people, it's Thunderdome on their whole back, or there's one guy with all the covers of the CD on his arm like this. What? It's amazing. So we have, and that came out at 20 years, and we captured it also. That's why I love a book, because you capture a period, you capture a generation, you capture a story and the real feeling. I thought the 20 years was boom, and for me a perfect final. And now I'm proud of it. If you go on and on and on, it feels like, sometimes football players also go on too long. They should stop when we're still very good. Then you stop.
But it's good to hear you being blown away by all this, because sometimes people perceive you as a businessman taking dance to a business level, but you're also more of a spiritual man even, and really getting impressed by stuff still. But I don't know what you were really blown away by the book and by the whole idea of 25 years, what you've been doing. So you do realize what's been happening to you and to everyone.
Oh, thanks. Sometimes it is sometimes strange to hear, oh, hij is best aardig. What do people expect? It's, I've always been very honest about it. I am a guy who take things, I want to make it big. That's what we did, because I believe what we did is cool, what we do, and it brings a lot of good things to the world.
So again, it's getting bigger than the events themselves.
Yeah, definitely. But ID&T should organize events. That's clear. I'm not going to say to our people in the office, it's even funnier now, all our digital people in our office, we're going to change that, that's going to be an SFX. So there's going to be a whole digital company on electronic within SFX. That's not a ID&T. ID&T should just create good events. A warehouse we could do, or Studio 80, or Sensation, or Tomorrow World, in all genres we're there, on electronic music in the world. That's what ID&T should do. I hope SFX is going to grow digital, and I hope we can create good things.
Okay. Anybody else? Question?
Yeah. First of all, I'm Egyptian, so I hope you come soon. Okay.
Well, it's not the best timing, I think now. No, we had some ideas to do the sensation at the pyramids. because we want to do once in a while. You're serious? Yeah. No, we want to do the 7 world wonders. It's something fun. So we had that idea, but then, whoa! I think that what's happening. So I hope, but yeah.
Yeah, I just have the same question. Like, how much of creative control will you still have on your events? And a second thing, I see that you're sort of dropping like previous like energy and stuff like that, and focusing more on like that you know, and making sort of new concepts. But are there? I would say, as you drop the idea of trance and stuff, I think the new concepts are more commercial. It's just the idea, are we going to see more smaller ID&T sort of non-commercial events? Are you sort of, do you sort of understand my question? Like, are we going to have that idea, or are we going to still see sort of Hardwell or
back to the roots
as headliners?
We just opened Wednesday, the warehouse. We're doing Dubfire. Yesterday we had Local Dice. Tonight we have Father Lobos. Tomorrow we have Chris Liebing. And Sunday we have Laurent Bignet. In the warehouse, where you have to shit on a shitty toilet. And Studio 80 is still there. So the techno underground scene of I as a commercial company, I've never used the word underground. It's just a different way of going out for me. The warehouse is a different feeling than air. I was staving in air at Piton, and then I went to the warehouse. And tonight we're organizing also Chesto with Calvin Harris, and tomorrow we're organizing also the Amsterdam Music Fest, which is a big commercial event. But at the same night we're doing the warehouse. And for every segment and every scene we do something. Just one thing, and that's it. So we won't be doing 7 commercials of trance events. No, if you do trance events, we do 1. At this point we don't do trance events, so we are looking into, can we, with SFX now, can we buy a company who does trance music and be part of the portfolio now, and part of the family. And I think an ID&T should be, well, also the world is big, so we have to make choices. I can't ask my people to do 10 things at the same time. So the Michelin team, we have an opportunity to go to England, but also India, or maybe Egypt. But as we speak, we are talking to India. India is exploding. So we have to make choices. Which countries? Because we learned also from Sensation, we did 20 of them this year. It's a bit too much for the team, for the people in the office. So we're going to bring them back a bit, because we lost a bit of the small details of focus. And so we want to do 15, maybe 12, or that's also good then, because we're part of a big thing. It's not really important if we do 18 or 14. The most important is going to be, are they good? Are they selling out? Do the people have a good evening? Those are the 3 elements. If we visit something which is really better, we are shit. And I think it's also now important that we're going to find young people in the office. It is a feeling, if I've been doing this for a long time and I'm going to be changing into a new job and to be more responsible job, but I do need young people who are 22, 24, 28, who are hungry, who are ambitious, who are creative, who want to have good ideas and want to work it. And yeah, definitely, I think that's, and then, yeah, it is important to be, we don't want to own everything. We do, well, we said yesterday also on the panel, we just want to be doing good, doing the best events, and the best in the sin of, if people come, that they leave, wow, that was really cool. That's important.
When was the last time you felt like a, damn, this is good?
I think Awakenings is always good. It's always a strong, very clear what he does. It's always good. Never disappointing, very strong. So I think EDC in Vegas, that was mind-blowing to see, I don't know what it was, 80,000 people traveled all the way to Vegas. And this summer I was staying in my luxury cabin, VIP in Tomorrowland, with my bubble bath and my friends and my champagne. And with the 10 of us, and I went, whoa, these Belgium guys, because that's the Belgium office. they outblown us damn good. So and then we even have competition internal. Internally, because the guys from Mysteryland, we came up with the name Tomorrowland. We learned those Belgian guys how to do it. We gave them the permits, the everything in the beginning. Now they've outblown us.
They're number one.
Now they're saying to us, "Hey, Dutch guys." But it's fun. I mean, we own half, so I'm very happy, and it's nice to have sitting in your bubble bed and they're having the stress, and I was relaxing. But I was mind blowing to see people traveled from Malaysia. They did a campaign Bring the Flag. It was unbelievable to see. Nearly 2 million people signed up to buy a ticket. 2 million. There's no event in the world who has that. 2 million, it's sold out of course like this. And then all these young people traveled the world and all these flags, and you saw Malaysia, I think they had 70 something countries. And you ask people, how do you find it? They look at you, what do you mean, how do you find it? This is the and they really save up, spend the money, save their whole savings to come to Tomorrowland. That for me was wow, because they come on a Thursday or something already and they stay for 5 days. That's the only thing I really miss, what we missed. I sometimes feel, over that way, I really feel sometimes sad. We didn't get any permits in Holland for a 3-day festival.
Oh yeah.
Michelin didn't get it. Welcome to the Future, we are thinking, but it's without the camping, it's different to have 2 days. And I'm happy we have DEFCON, which is moving more and more into a multiple day festival, because I think multiple day festivals is a deeper intense experience than a 1 day party.
Yeah.
So like Tomorrowland, if you're there for 4 days, that feels really whoa. I think the limit of electronic music, there is no limit, because it's getting easier and easier to make the music. Like, there are some producers already in the office sometimes who are 14 or 13 with tracks. You go, wow. With the electronic distribution of the music, there is at that way no limit. With the creativity, I think there is no limit, because even in Holland, if you want to organize an event, if you really want to do it now, next week you can organize an event. You rent some place. So in that way, for myself, the limit will be when I lose my passion, and maybe also sometimes maybe physical. When you get older, I feel it now when I'm 42 and I'm healthy and I sport and I eat healthy, but sometimes I do feel it. Sometimes I am, whoa. Can I give this same energy for another 10 years? I don't know. I do it with so much love and energy, and I want to do it. And the day it comes when I really don't want to get out of bed, then I won't get out of bed anymore for this. And then I will just, then I'm done. And that will be my final chapter. And I hope I can do this for at least another 10 years.
25 years.
Well, I don't know. I do feel, or I have to have a totally different way of, but the same energy I put in now, I can't do it, I think, another 21 years. And I think it's normal. I think at that point, I hope there's a new generation, guys like me, organizing events which are mind-blowing.
Yeah, okay. That's a good way to end it, I think.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much.